Like it smells like a grandma. This is, ooh, scent is strong. This smells like a grandmother. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell by the title, today we'll be doing a wear test and trying out the Huda Beauty foundation and seeing if it can cover up my acne and acne scarring. So I was inspired to do this video because actually by Golden Roses here on YouTube, she also has acne and tries out a bunch of different foundations and just like reviews them and acne products. When it comes to foundation reviews, I love watching people like her and that Taylor and other people who have acne, because although there's millions and millions and thousands of foundation reviews on YouTube that you can find, a lot of the people who I watch and I've just noticed in general have pretty perfect skin. So honestly, every foundation looks good on them, which is pretty, like, that's what I aspire to be one day. But I love seeing people who have acne trying on foundations, because that is, I don't know, it gives me a better review and see if it'll actually cover my acne or acne scarring, because everyone's skin is different. The Golden Roses foundation review, I love all her foundation reviews. You should really go check her out. She is amazing. She just really inspires me to try these foundations for myself, because she has acne as well. So they can work for her, maybe they will work for me too. So I'm very excited to get into this. So let's just start and get into this video. I look super insane right now with this green eyeshadow and white eyeliner. I'm trying something a little different out of my comfort zone. This is a skin update. So a lot of breakouts here. This is like new. A lot of it is actually flat, but it is still scarring. So that is how my skin is looking so far. It is getting better. I've been trying out some new skincare, which I will reveal soon, and it's been really helping out with my acne and texture, but still a lot of scarring. So we'll see what happens with that. So let's see how really full coverage this foundation is. Went to Sephora and got my sample here of the Huda Beauty foundation, and honestly, I don't remember what shade this is in. I think it was macadamia. They didn't write it on the back, so I don't remember. This is what it looks like. I hope this isn't too dark for me. I have a feeling it might be. Oh, she's thick. She's thick, girl. Peanut butter. See how well it covers. There's a very strong perfumey scent to it. Like very strong. It smells like my grandma's, not in a bad way, but it smells like my grandmother's perfume. Oh ho ho! That coverage though. That covered up everything quite nicely. Like compared to this, like night and day. Night and day. You can still see a little bit of it peeking through, just a smidge. Not highlighting my texture, but you know, it still looks pretty textured here, just a smidge. Now, I think it's my fault because I put a little bit less product here, but obviously I like the brush side more than the Beauty Blender side. But I don't know if you can see this, but all of this is because I dotted my face with the product, and this is all, it seems like it soaked all of the dots up. And that never usually happens to me with my foundations. And I've used this Beauty Blender a lot of the time, and it's like more even spread. So it's like the dots were just like cling to the Beauty Blender. So I don't know if it's the foundation. Is it possible for the foundation to do that? I have no idea. There we go. God, this smell though. So again, this is the brush side, this is the Beauty Blender side. Obviously this one is more full coverage and it looks just like more flawless. This one, it is still covered, pretty good coverage. You can see through, peeking through just a smidge, like these, like they're all still covered, but they're just peeking through a little bit more than this side where it's a lot more covered. It is a smidge, like a smidge too dark for me. Like it looks fine in like the lighting and everything, but it's a smidge too dark. But I don't know if you guys can tell. This is to clump up right here in my little nose area. Like, what is going on? That usually never happens to me. Like, yeah, it clumps up a little bit, but then it's like, whoa. Also, I just nailed it with my finger and it made a mark. What's going on? Like, wow. Okay, that helped a smidge. Wow, it took it off. I just put my finger there, which is probably my fault, not the foundation. There's two of the Beauty Blender. That one's not as bad with the brush, but Beauty Blender side, it for sure sunk into my line. It doesn't really feel super heavy. It feels good right now. That little nose situation, that's a little annoying because that rarely happens to me with foundation. So that just is an indicator to me that it's a little heavy. It's sitting a little weird for sure. But I like the coverage. We'll see how it wears throughout the day. And this is a foundation I can just tell that you are going to want to set. If you don't like setting your foundation, personally I always set my foundation, so that's not a big deal to me, but you're going to want to set it just because, you know, if you touch your face at all, girl, it's going to come off and you're just going to have spots and blotchiness everywhere. And even if you, God forbid, you poke yourself like with your nail like I did, it's gonna come off. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup and then we will be right back to check. All right guys, so this is me with everything, my makeup completed, everything is done. I actually really like how this look turned out. I tried out today the new ColourPop Just My Luck palette, and honestly my eyes are feeling a little irritated and look a little red. So I don't know if it's just like the colors and this palette or like the formula that's irritating my eyes, but I've used ColourPop shadows before and that's never happened to me, so I'm like a little confused, concerned. Maybe it's the white eyeliner. I'm also using the ColourPop new liquid liners, and I used the white one in Graceland, so I'm not sure. And those are the only things that are new that are on my eyes, so I'm not sure which one it is. I hope it's not the palette, because the white liner I can live without and I can find one from like NYX or something, but this I think is really pretty and I don't want to have to give it away, like, or not use it. Like, look how pretty it is. But anyway, that is way besides the point. It's still really covered. I didn't use any additional coverage. I barely had to use any of my Tarte concealer, so one of that is obviously a tell sign. Sure, when it say this, the foundation does much in the blurring department, like, oh, my skin looks so blurred and like photoshopped. I wouldn't say that. I think it has really good coverage, and even though you can still see my scars and some of my acne peeking through, I think the coverage is still pretty good. And yeah, my skin just looks really textured right here and a little bit right here, but also I think that could be a me issue, a my skin problem. And lately this area of my skin has been a little extra textured, so I'm not gonna blame it on the foundation just yet. So I will check back in with you guys at the end of tonight and we'll see how this face held up. And this is me wearing the foundation again, and as you can see, it looks wild. Like, we are at Patch City over here and we just look super patchy. Looks patchy over here. So as you can see, just the way it laid on my skin, the foundation just felt super heavy. It for sure feels like you have makeup on your skin, and by the end of the night I felt like I just wanted to take it off, just wash my face and just be barefaced. The coverage was there. It did cover my acne pretty well when I used a brush. I liked the brush much better than using it with a beauty blender, so the coverage was there. However, the way it sat on my skin throughout the day, I was not a fan. It sunk into every pore, fine line, clinged onto every dry patch of acne that I had. It was just like clung in it. It felt like it wasn't like melting into my skin or giving me like a flawless like blurring effect. It was literally just like a mask on my face, and it was just covering everything, and it just didn't make me look perfected. Like, I don't know if you can tell. Right now I'm wearing the Fenty Beauty foundation, and honestly every time I stop using this and I go back to it, I'm like, why did I stop? Why did I stop? Because if you can see like how poreless and blurred my face looks, ignore this, it's a little dry patch, so the Fenty is a stage 4 clinger as well, but it just, my skin just looks much more flawless with this foundation. Even though it doesn't have as much coverage as the Huda Beauty, it still just looks better. It feels like it like has blurred my face. It's not sinking into all of my pores, all of my little lines. Like with the Huda Beauty one, you could see how apparent my pores looked, and I was just not happy with it. And there were a couple times when I would just be driving in natural light and just going out, and I'm like looking at my face and I'm like, something's off. Something, you know, when you could just tell something's off with your face and you're like, whoa, I don't look as flawless and blurred and like as on point as I usually am. Like, I truly just didn't feel, I don't know, it just didn't make me feel like pretty, and I couldn't pinpoint what it was because I was also trying like a new setting spray, but that had nothing to do with it, and it was totally the foundation, and I'm like, what's going on? It just did not make me look as my skin look as good as I know it could. And for a $40 foundation, I want to look poreless. I want everything to be covered. Like if I'm gonna spend that much money, I want to look like snatched, and I just did not get that from this foundation. And also another big turnoff for me was the smell. The smell of this, we don't really mind smell, but this is potent, like potent, and it lingers there for a good couple minutes. So if you're sensitive to smell, I would also beware, because you are not gonna like it. It was just, yeah, it was there. It was a lot. Did it break me out? 100%, unfortunately. This foundation broke me out. Oh, it broke me out, and it was bad. It wasn't like super crazy, but it was pretty bad. Like this area, like you kind of see it healing still. This was like really congested. You know those pimples you get that are like raised, but they're still kind of under the skin and they hurt to the touch? Like they hurt, and I was trying to exfoliate them. I was trying to get it out of there and just cleanse my skin, so just to unclog it, and it's still like, this is like days later and it's still not helping. I just don't know if it was because it was too heavy, or it was the scent, or just a combination of the both. But for that reason alone, I will not be buying this foundation and would not recommend. It was like a gradual breakout too. Like it wasn't like immediately the next day, like, oh boom, it broke me out. But it was like over like the couple of days I was wearing it, and I think it was just literally clogging my pores and just making them super congested. And yeah, so because of that, I would not recommend this foundation. This was a no from me. It's pretty disappointing, because I've heard so much hype on this foundation on Instagram and all over YouTube, but for me, it just didn't work out. I'm not a fan. But yeah, if you guys have been curious, again, I'm a big advocate for go get that sample, try it before you buy it. Just because a product is hyped up on YouTube and Instagram doesn't necessarily mean it is going to work for you. So always get a sample. But that is the end of this foundation review, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave it down in the comments below. If you have tried this foundation out, did it break you out? Did you like it? Did it just sit on your skin? Or is it like your favorite foundation ever? I would love to know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And also make sure to check out Golden Rose's video and see her opinion on it, because again, I love her and she totally is one of my foundation inspirations. Things she tries, I just also want to try for myself to see if it works. And for me, this didn't work out. All the fellow acne girls out there, some love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.